Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are having a long overdue catch up. It feels like so long since I've sat down and filmed a video. I think the last videos I put up are my Centre Parcs vlogs, which were from way back in April. There's a very good reason for that, and I'm hopefully getting back on track. But for now, grab yourself a drink, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, cold drink, and let's catch up. If you are new to my channel and this is the first video you've ever clicked on mine, then hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I guess you're going to get to know a little bit about me in this video. Let's start with the biggest life update. I am pregnant. I am expecting our third baby. We are so thrilled and excited about that. This baby was very much planned, very much longed for, and we are just so thrilled. I'm actually 23 weeks pregnant now, so it's been quite a while. We are due in the middle of October and we are having another girl. So if you don't know, I have a 4-year-old daughter, Sophia, a 2, almost 3-year-old daughter, Amelia, and then this baby girl whose name we do know, but we are not going to share it publicly yet. We're just going to keep that to ourselves for a little bit, but we have been calling her by her name. The girls are absolutely thrilled to be having another little sister. Joe and I are so thrilled to be having another girl. When we found out that it was a girl, we actually just laughed because we were like having a big debate in our family. Is it going to be a boy, a girl? Honestly, I didn't mind, but I think a lot of people thought I wanted a boy because I've not got a boy, but we didn't mind. We just wanted a healthy baby, and she's very healthy, she's growing well. I will insert a bump clip here so you can see what my bump looks like. But let's take it right back to when I found out I was pregnant, which I don't have any footage of it. I have been sharing bits about this on my other social media platforms, so Instagram and TikTok, and even here on YouTube Shorts, so this may not be a surprise to some of you, but I am going to go into a little bit more detail. So we found out, I think, the very beginning of February. Fortunately for us, we're very blessed and grateful that it was the first month we'd been trying, and I was so shocked when the pregnancy test turned positive. I thought I was doing it early, but based on the scans and the dates, it wasn't actually early in the end. It was about 4 weeks, classed as 4 weeks, like 2 weeks after kind of ovulation time that I found out. And I was so shocked, so surprised and so thrilled, but it didn't feel real for quite a long time until I started to get symptoms. And then symptoms wise, the first trimester was rough. Probably my roughest one. I was incredibly sick. I get sick in all of my pregnancies, but this time it was harder, I think because I had the girls already, so that was hard. I was extremely exhausted in the first trimester and I was just so sick. I lost a lot of weight and I did actually end up in hospital, not exclusively because of morning sickness, but in April time. This was actually at the end of my first trimester. We all got a sickness bug. So after Centre Parcs, actually, if you watched that video, at the very end, Sophia wasn't very well. Well, then we all got this sickness bug, all except for Joe. Praise the Lord that he was safe from this bug because he took such good care of us all. But I got it, Amelia got it, Sophia got it, and I was so sick because of the morning sickness that I already had. My body just couldn't stop being sick, basically. I won't go into detail, but I was very dehydrated and very poorly, so I ended up being admitted into hospital. I had, I think, 6 or 7 bags of like IV fluids until I was hydrated enough, and they finally put me on some anti-sickness medication, and that was a game changer. It really helped control my sickness. I was still nauseous, I still felt sick, but I just was able to start eating again and to keep it all down, so that was huge. That was about 13 or 14 weeks. Another thing of note that happened in the first trimester, which didn't happen in either of my other pregnancies, is that at 10 weeks I started spotting, and I'd never had that before, and it really freaked me out. We'd not yet had the scan, the 12-week scan. I'd had my first midwife appointment, but that was it. And so I woke up one morning and I'd been feeling a bit weird that weekend anyway, and I just absolutely freaked out. And I said to Joe, I was like, I knew it. I'd convinced myself that I was going to lose this baby because I felt so fortunate to not struggle to get pregnant after having a very close friend of mine and seeing other people struggle to get pregnant. I was convinced something bad was going to happen, and I know that's not logical, but that's just how my kind of hormonal tired mind was working. So I had this spotting and I did contact the midwife straight away, and I got to see her. I was seeing her anyway actually for an extra blood test because one of the blood tests, they did it wrong, so they had to redo it. So she booked me in for an early scan with the NHS, but that wasn't for a week later, and I just knew how my mind worked. or I know how my mind works, and I know that I wouldn't be able to rest that week. I'd get so worked up about it. So we did end up booking a private scan at 10 weeks, just 10 weeks and a few days, I think. So we did that and it was all good. So that was a big reassurance. And then we had the early scan for the NHS, and then we had our usual 12-week scan. So those are all the scans. Oh, and then we've had since then, well, I'm really going back now. Since then, we've also had the 20-week scan, which is where it is the anatomy scan and all was good, and also the gender scan. So that's kind of where we're at with the baby and the pregnancy. Not a lot else to update. Symptoms are just typical pregnancy symptoms: tiredness, heartburn. I'm already getting some lower backache, and I definitely need to rest more. But like I said, it is hard when you have 2 small children to run around after. But thankfully, Amelia is now in nursery for an extra half day, which is the day I'm filming this, which means I can get a bit of work done. And I'm going to move on to work now, because that's kind of a bit of an update as well. So for work, I am working for my church. I do 7 hours a week. I've been doing this since January. I split my hours, so I do 1 hour on a Monday, which is the day I'm filming this today. I do 5 on a Tuesday, and I do 1 hour on a Friday. The reason I do that is because I have some post-church work to do from the Sunday to the Monday, and some pre-church work to do on the Friday, so it just works out that way. I generally tend to go into the office buildings on a Tuesday, just because I've got the company there. There's a few other members of staff, but I have the flexibility to work from home if I want to, which has been great during this pregnancy. For example, if everybody else is out for the day and I know there's going to be nobody there, then I will tend to work from home, and I actually get more done in the time that I have because I'm not distracted by talking to other people. So that's great, but then also it's nice to have the balance of having people to communicate with and talk to and be with on the Tuesday. That's going really well. I'm really enjoying it. It's like a social media communications role, so I kind of do a little bit of everything to do with that. I am technically still doing supply teaching. So when I left my teaching job in December, I signed up to a supply agency, but since then I've only done 4. I did 3 I think I did 1 in February, 2 in March. So that's 3 in that term, and then I did 1 last week. I'm hoping to get a couple more in before the summer holidays, but I only offer a Wednesday each week if I offer each week. So the reason I've only done 4 is through my own decision, because firstly, when I was in the first trimester, I just didn't want to do that many. Last term, I just didn't really want to do any. I didn't need to do any. My social media was going well. Financially, we didn't really need it. But with the summer holidays coming up, I just want to get like a few extra in. So I've said I'm available for a few more, but that's going well. I mean, I don't really love it. It's just a money earner for me, and it's quite good money. So it's just a nice little top up. And then social media wise, this is going well. I'm still doing all of this, obviously getting back into YouTube. I'm mainly on TikTok. That is mainly where I earn my income, and I find it's kind of easier to keep up with that because it's shorter. But I'm really trying to focus in and get my content down on there. I used to do a lot of paid sounds, which did earn me money, but I feel like it stunted my growth and stunted my community, and I really want to build up a nice community. I've been focusing on homemaking content, stay-at-home mum content, a little bit of faith content, and that's kind of what I want to do on this channel as well, really focus on those areas. So do let me know if there's any kind of videos you would like to see from me, and I will try and plan those in to future videos. Another update for our family is that we got a new car, or new for us. So when we found out that we were having a baby, we knew that we would need a bigger car, because the cars that we had a 3-door 5-seater car, which the 3-door one is obviously no good for getting children in and out the back of it. So that was my car that then became Joe's car, and then we got a family car that was a 5-door 5-seater one. However, it was quite narrow, so we wouldn't be able to get all the car seats in, and we certainly wouldn't be able to get everything in the boot. So we went on a car hunt, and we managed to sell the old car that was Joe's, like my old car then became Joe's car, the 3-door car. We sold that for a really good price, and then we found this car, and it's actually 13 years old, which you might be thinking, why would you get a 13-year-old car? Firstly, it was in our budget. Secondly, it was really high spec, so whoever first bought it obviously paid top notch. It's got all of the gizmos and gadgets. We got gizmos and gadgets aplenty. Sorry, couldn't help myself. It's got all of that, but it was in our budget, and it's 7 seats. with a massive boot. It's a Vauxhall Charan, if you're wondering, and we really like the colour. It was just immaculate. We just couldn't believe that we got this car, and it was diesel, but such low mileage for diesel. So we think the previous owners were, well, we know they were like a elderly couple, but we think maybe they just pootled around town in it. They didn't obviously do a lot of miles in it. They really looked after it. But the best thing is that in the middle set of seats, you can actually get 3 full car seats in there, because they're all on a separate, I don't know what it is, chassis or something. So we still have all the boot space, and we've still got 2 extra seats as well. So we've been so thrilled with that. That's been really great. It's surprisingly made such a huge difference to our family and the way we can do things now. Even like the food shop, I can just get so much in the boot. And we're going on a big family holiday to the Isle of Wight in the summer, and that's a long journey for us, so we can pack the car full of stuff and still have plenty of space. And then of course we went to Centre Parcs, which was wonderful. So that was at the end of my first trimester, so I was still a little bit sick but kind of coming out of it, but I wasn't on the anti-sickness tablets yet. But yeah, that was wonderful. I have got those I've got a vlog for that and a packing video for that, so I will leave that linked whichever side. I never know which side it is. Is it that side? I don't know. I will leave that linked, and I'll leave it linked below in case you want to catch up on that. But that was a wonderful holiday. My whole family went. Well, I say my whole family. My mum and dad went, my brother and sister-in-law went. My other brother lives in Australia, so he couldn't come. And then my nephews went. At the time, my sister-in-law was heavily pregnant. I think she was about 36 weeks or something. She was about 4 weeks away from giving birth. She has now since given birth, so we have a new niece in the family. So that's been exciting. Lots of family updates. 2 of my friends have given birth, so I feel like I'm surrounded by newborns at the minute. So it's a good job I am pregnant, because I'd be super broody if I wasn't. Yeah, Centre Parcs was wonderful, and now we're looking forward to our summer holidays. We're not going abroad this year. We're gonna save that for next year. I think next year is the year we're gonna do our first family abroad holiday. But we have a little beach cabin getaway coming up at the end of July, which we always do. That's a local holiday. It's like a true staycation. And then we're also going to the Isle of Wight, like I mentioned, and we've got Peppa Pig World as well. So we're gonna stop at Peppa Pig World first. Really looking forward to that. I just hope the weather's okay, because if you've been in the UK, you will know the weather's been awful. Now, amongst all of that lovely positive news, we did actually experience some very sad and heartbreaking news. A friend of mine and a colleague of mine suddenly and unexpectedly passed away. That was at the end of April. So May was just a sad month, really, and I think that's why I didn't come back on here sooner, because as I planned to come back on here, my friend David passed away. So David was a wonderful man. He worked for my church, so I was working with him every Tuesday, and he was also a friend of ours, a family friend, and his wife and his children. They're all part of our church community. It was terribly, terribly sad and heartbreaking, and there's just no words for it, really. We don't really understand why. We'll never understand why. I said to Joe, I think God could come and tell me himself the reason, and I wouldn't understand why. But it's been very sad. And then he had his funeral and his celebration of life. So that was a real shock to our family, a shock to our community, and we were trying to support his wife and his children and just those around him. That was just a sad time. So that's kind of where May went, and it did give me in a way a new lease of life. David was a person who was so full of life and love and humour. It's made me want to honour him in the best way that I can, which is to really enjoy my life. So it's definitely put some things into perspective, and I think I've just been really focusing in on family time and enjoying this little life that I've built for myself, and being really appreciative and grateful of it. Yeah, we miss David. So that was some really sad news that happened. And I suppose the final thing then that leads on into talking about my new role as a homemaker. But then I'm not really a full-time homemaker. I don't really know what I'd call myself, to be honest, because I do work part-time and I have the odd supply. I do social media, but I'm also home a lot more. So overall, I do class myself as a homemaker and a stay-at-home mum who does those other things to like earn extra income. But the homemaking's going really well. I feel like I've got into a very good routine with it, a very good rhythm with it. I've got a cleaning schedule now, which I'm able to follow most weeks. I've got the food shopping down. I do that on a Monday, and I've been sharing that over on TikTok. I've just got like my days sorted now, and it took me quite a long time. I think being pregnant and having the first trimester delayed that, because I just did spend most of that time in bed struggling, and when I was with the girls I was just sort of dying on the sofa trying not to be sick, so that was really hard. But now we're in a rhythm of it, we're in a groove of it. Being a stay-at-home mum on the days that I am is wonderful. I think I've got the right balance of having time to get my work done and for the girls to be really stimulated and have that interactive time at nursery, and then also having days with the girls. So usually I have Wednesdays with just Mimi if I'm not doing supply, and that's really nice to have that one-on-one time, and then Thursdays and Fridays I've always had off with the girls, and then Monday morning. So we've got a great balance. I'm actually going to film a full day in the life on Thursday of what our stay-at-home days look like, although we don't actually stay at home. We tend to go to toddler groups and out and about if we can. So yeah, I'm going to film that for you just to give you a little insight. That will be next week's video. I hope you will enjoy that one. And basically that is where we're at. We're excited for the future, we're excited for the summer, even though it technically is summer, it doesn't feel like it. Really hoping we get some nice weather, but we're going to try and do our best to enjoy it anyway. And I'm trying not to wish it away until October. I'm so excited about this baby coming, but I love summer, so I want to like enjoy it. But also I'm so excited for the baby to come, but she needs to do a bit more growing first. So I'm trying not to wish it away because this may well be my last pregnancy, who knows. That's where we're at. I hope you will stick around and continue to enjoy my content. I'm going to try and stick to a schedule of Monday at 6 p.m. It's not guaranteed because life is busy and I have a lot of other things going on, but I do want to make this a priority again and get back in that rhythm of things, which I think I'm getting the hang of it again. If you have stuck around to the end, then please hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and don't forget to turn on the little bell so that you do know when I post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video, which will be a day in the life of a stay-at-home mum with my 2 girls. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.